Howdy everybody, I'm Tommy. I'm going to show you today how to install R and RStudio on both your Mac, which is an Apple computer, and on a Windows device. That's basically any other computer most people will be using. If you're on Linux, you're on your own, but you're used to that. And if you don't know what Linux is, you don't need to. So you want to install R and RStudio probably to do some data analysis. The easiest way to do it is to go to this link, which will be in the description of the video, posit.co/download/rstudio-desktop, right? And I've opened this in Firefox. You can open it in Chrome or whatever browser you have, Safari, whatever web browser that you use. This is the link you want to go to. Once you're here, you're going to see that it's going to give you two steps. It's going to say 1, install R, and then it's going to say 2, install RStudio, and it's already noticed that I'm on an Apple computer and has said download RStudio for Mac OS 13 Plus. We're going to get there in a minute. Right now, what we need to do is make sure that we have R installed. R is sort of the back-end code that makes RStudio work. So we're going to use this first button to download and install R. It's going to take us to a different tab. This is CRAN, the Comprehensive R Archive Network, and we have 3 options here. Right now I'm on my Apple computer, so I'm going to download R for Mac OS, right? When I get to the Windows computer later, I'm going to download it for Windows, right? I've clicked the link for R for pardon. I've clicked the link for R for Mac OS, and what I'm going to do is just come down to this latest release, and for Apple Silicon, that's M1, M2, right? I'm going to download this file. If I have an older Mac that's an Intel Mac, if you want to know the distinction, you come up here, you go to About This Mac, and if you have listed as chip an M1 or an M2 or an M4 or whatever, you have the M chip. And if you have something listed here that is not an M thing, you have the other chip. So if you have the M, you're here. If not, you're here. I'm going to go ahead and download this. It's going to take just a second, and I'm going to open it when it's done. Here we go. I'm going to open the file, and I'm going to continue through here. Make sure that I'm going to read all my documentation. I mean, I've installed this before, so I'm just going to agree. I know what it says. I'm going to put in my password. I'm going to install the software. It's going to take a second, and if it takes too long, I'll cut this out of the video, but it's already done, so I don't have to. So R is now installed. Step 2, download RStudio Desktop for Mac OS 13 Plus. Great. This is going to take a second to download. This is more intense of a program than just base R is, so it's going to take a couple seconds. I might cut you to the end of the download here. We'll see. All right, now that the file has finished downloading, I'm going to go ahead and open it up. And this is a DMG file, so I'm going to do the usual thing I do with a Mac, and I'm going to drag the app into the Applications folder. I'm going to wait for it to make a sound. It's not going to make a sound until it finishes copying the studio over. It's going to take it just a little bit. Once it's finished with this process, I'll be able to run RStudio, which means I'll be able to run R code, which is going to be great for future assignments or your data analysis if you're a researcher or whatever. So now we're done, and I can go to the Finder, and it'll pull up a new Finder window because I want it to. And I can go to Applications, and here's RStudio. If I open RStudio, it'll take a second to open. It'll take a second to verify. I definitely want to open it. I know it comes from a trusted place. And then it'll open here in just a second. And I have RStudio open. Here's the console. Here's the environment. Here's all my files. I'm ready to go. And now you're saying, great, but I have a Windows computer. So let me go ahead and switch over to my Windows device really quick. This is the nice thing. I have a whole nice setup for setting this up. Great, I have a Windows device. And do I have RStudio installed? Well, if I search it in my search bar, it says best match, but I don't have it as a program I can open. So what do? Well, I need to go to, let me close R here, posit.co/download/rstudio-desktop, and I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm just going to paste it in. And it's going to take me to the same website, but now it knows I'm on Windows. That's super cool. So first I'm going to install R. I'm on Windows now. This is what you want to install R for the first time on Windows. Just base. Bink, I click it. I download R for Windows, open the file. It's going to take a second. I would love to allow it to make changes to my device. I'd love to do it in English. I'm going to read the general public license because I'm a very responsible software owner, and I'm going to definitely read and make sure I know everything that's going on. I'm going to hit next, next. I'm going to install everything. I'm going to hit next. No need to really customize the startup options here because we're going to be using RStudio anyway, so I'm going to hit next, and it'll put a shortcut in the program file. Sure, you can make a desktop shortcut if you want. I don't want that because I'm going to be using RStudio anyway. I'm not going to be opening R myself. So we'll go ahead and hit next, and it's going to set itself up for us. It's going to be very nice to us. These programs are designed to be relatively easy to use, which is nice. It's nice that they're free, and R is now installed. So I'm going to leave this tab. I'm going to come back over, and I'm going to download RStudio Desktop for Windows. Here comes the download. This one's going faster than it did on my Mac, which is funny. I think it's just a smaller file on Windows. So I'm going to click it when it finishes downloading. I'm going to allow it to make changes to my device, and I'm going to go through the setup. It's going to take a second. So this part is obviously going to go through to the end. Maybe it won't happen for a couple minutes, so I'll just try to do it finish. Alrighty, looks like we're just about there, and now RStudio has been installed on my computer. I can click finish, and now I can come down to this search bar and I can search RStudio, and now it says it's an app that I can open. So I'm going to click it and I'm going to open it. RStudio requires an existing installation of R. Select the version of R to use. I just want to use the default one. It's going to find it because we just installed it, and now RStudio is open. Sure, you can upload crash reports automatically if you want. I'm going to hit no just because I don't want them telling anybody something I didn't send them. Here's the console. Here's the environment. Here's the files. Done deal. Mac, Windows, doesn't matter. RStudio is installed, and you're ready to do some statistics. So, thanks for watching. Hope this helps. If you have questions, leave it in the comments. Or if you're a student, you talk to me. Okay.